Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to this evening's Google Hangout, the latest in our series of Hangouts. This evening we're going to be talking to a number of our junior consultants just to tell us a little bit about what their role is and what it's like working at Accenture. As ever, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us on our social channels and we will feed them through to the team. So first up, I'd just like to start with the guys introducing themselves. If you could just tell us who you are, what your current role is, and why you joined Accenture. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mariam and I joined Accenture this year in July. I am part of a team called PCS, which is Program Control Services. We are responsible in delivering high-value project management services to our clients and Accenture. Currently, I'm working on a program for a bank based in Cardiff as a PMO lead. I was brought in to look into defining and mobilizing the PMO processes. Prior to joining Accenture, I worked in the public sector, and reasons why I chose to join Accenture is because I was looking for a diverse and challenging environment and to be able to have the opportunity to work across different industries. Yep, that's me.
Hi everyone, I'm Richard. I joined Accenture in February this year. I'm part of the digital data and analytics team. My current role is working with a large energy firm on a data integration project. We're working right across from initial design, requirements gathering, right until delivery, testing, and making sure the client's happy with everything. I joined Accenture from following 4 years in various financial services companies, specialized in analytics, data, and business intelligence. Why I wanted to join Accenture was basically for the opportunities to work across different industries with some of the best people and to use some of the most cutting edge tools and technologies really.
Hi, I'm Henrietta Marsh-Smith and I joined Accenture I'm trying to think, October 2011. I currently work as a PMO lead on a technical upgrade project at a leading gas and oil company. Like Mariam, I'm also part of PCS where, well, there is a small team of about 50 people who specialise in creating and implementing efficient project management techniques and tools for our clients. Prior to joining Accenture, I was a civil servant working on a financial system implementation. And I joined Accenture because I wanted to work in a fast-paced, ever-changing environment. And I wanted the chance to work on a number of clients and possibly the option of traveling abroad.
Great. Hey guys, this is Christopher Perkins. You can call me Chris. I am currently staffed at a major telecoms company, and I'm also part of the digital data and analytics practice. At my current client, I primarily am a data architect and a ETL lead. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. And what we're currently doing at the client is we're deploying a business intelligence solution. To give you a bit of context, business intelligence, or when you deploy a business intelligence solution, what you're primarily doing is enabling your client or your end user to be able to utilize the data that they collect and visualize it and transform it in a way that they can make better decisions using the data. So in essence, it's what you guys might know as taking an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe it could be taking an Excel spreadsheet and creating a graph and explaining to the end user what the graph means, or taking even larger amounts of data and doing the same, going through the same process. I came to join Accenture probably about, I want to say about 3.5 years ago, actually back in the States. Back in 2010. About 6 months ago, I actually transferred to the UK, and am enjoying it here so far, except for the weather, but I'll get used to it. But what's kind of unique is I actually also did an internship with Accenture prior to joining. So feel free to ask any questions about that transition as well. Why and the reason I've chose to come to Accenture was, honestly, I really enjoyed my internship. I had a great support network when I went through it. There are amazing opportunities at Accenture to grow your career and advance yourself and to continually challenge yourself. And while all that happens, and even through the hard work and whatnot, you end up developing great relationships with people and end up meeting some very, very cool people. And it's a great ride, to say the least. So I'm still on it, and I will continue to stay on the ride.
Great, thank you. Nice to meet you all. So I think it might be useful to kind of get a bit of a picture of what everyone's kind of day-to-day role looks like and what you do in your job every day. So I might start with you, Richard, if that's all right.
Yep. So day-to-day, to be honest, 2 days are the same, really. My current client, we're right at the start of the process of the project, so we're gathering requirements, working with the client day in, day out to really get to the bottom of what they need this solution to do. We've probably got a couple more weeks of bottoming that out. Once that's done, we'll start building and putting this solution in place. Following that, it's a case of testing and making sure we've hit their requirements. So we're really going right across the project lifecycle, to be honest. In terms of roles I pick up, so at the minute, as I say, it's requirements gathering, but I'm going to be moving across into development once we move into that stage, and then towards the end of it, we're going to be testing and making sure that we've hit those requirements. Previous roles have been more development focused, more kind of team leadership focused. So it's been a real kind of variance of what I've been doing when you come from different projects. I suppose that'll continue as we keep going forward, really.
Oh, thank you. And Henrietta, would you be able to talk us through what you do every day?
Yeah, no problem, Kate. So as I said, I'm working on a technical upgrade program in the project management office. So I'm in charge of all the status reporting. I had to create the project schedule and monitor the progress of the project. I work with all the workstream leads on the project, so I get a huge insight into all the different aspects of the project. At the moment, we're in the execute stage of the project, so we're in the build and test phases, which is fairly exciting.
Great, thanks very much. I guess another important question that we often get asked, especially at this level, is around the sort of support and career development opportunities offered at Accenture. So it'd be good to understand a little bit about that. Chris, do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure, yeah. Accenture is actually a very great company when it comes to support. The prime example is when you come in as an analyst, a consultant, a new hire, or an experienced hire at any level, you're provided with a career counselor. And the job of this career counselor is really to help guide you through your career and help you to achieve the goals that you set along the way. Now, the career counselor's job isn't to necessarily hold your hand and say, this is where you go, this is what you do here. You obviously have to take initiative, but what they're really, really good at is helping you to open up your network and helping to give you guidance to say, go speak to so-and-so if you're interested in this, and go and speak to so-and-so if you're interested in this. They also are the individuals that help to support you when it comes down to your rating process as well, which becomes a very, very big help. But not only are your career counselors your support network, you actually find your support network through your colleagues as well as through people you may have only spoken with online or via link. I can really attest to that, as in I just transferred here, like I said, about 6 months ago, and it's by no means an easy process to say, oh, I just want to transfer. There's quite a bit of, I'd like to transfer, okay, I need to talk to so-and-so, I need to talk to so-and-so. And along the way, I actually found several people that were willing to help and that were very, very supportive and gave me suggestions and the right direction to go, or kind of gave me the do's and don'ts of going through the transfer process. So Accenture is very, very helpful in transfers, are very, very helpful, I'm sorry, on support. And the one actually I will go ahead and add that I'm sure my colleagues will laugh about is, even though there are late nights, you do find the support when you and your colleagues are staying and working late, and then you guys all go out and have a drink afterward. It's a really, really great support network, especially when you have those types of nights.
Cool, thank you very much. My next question is around kind of your career and long-term projection of your career, and I'd like to ask Henrietta, why is it you choose to continue your career here? What is it that a career at Accenture offers you that keeps you here?
So I have chosen to stay at Accenture just due to the sheer number of opportunities available. There are so many different roles and experiences that are ever changing, especially because it's technology consultancy, so that's always changing as well. And there's always a new challenge. You also get a huge variety of clients to work with, and Accenture really invest in their people, so there's a lot of training. They're up to about 10 days a year, and of course the people here are great to work with.
Thank you. And Richard, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I've touched on it earlier, but I suppose a key reason why I continue to stay here is you're always kind of learning on the job. I've been lucky enough to come from a financial services background, and I have worked on financial services projects since I've been with Accenture, but I've also managed to work with a leading global retailer, an energy firm, which I mentioned previously, in really varied roles. So as well as the kind of training courses that the guys put you on, which is really easy to get access to. They're really supportive in that terms. You learn a lot on the job. I've picked up a lot of different skills and kind of industry-specific knowledge that I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere else or in any other kind of environment. And working with the kind of cutting-edge tools that we do day in, day out is another great side of it as well. So as long as I keep learning, which I can see me doing, I've got no reason to leave, to be honest.
That's good news. What about you? Sorry, actually, I'll just move on to my next question. I guess fundamentally, it's not all good. What would you say, Mariam, what would you say the challenges are that you find in your day-to-day job?
The challenges that I find in this project that I'm working for is actually the traveling, because I live in London and the project I'm working for is in Cardiff. So that's the bit I found challenging, but what makes up for it is, and as my colleagues have touched on it, is the people that you work in. When you work in any project, you're not on your own, you're with a group of people, and they make it up. It's great. What I find an overall challenging thing within Accenture, I mean, it's great. What is great about Accenture is you get the opportunity to find your own projects. However, it can be somewhat challenging to ensure that the project you have found it fits your aspiration and it's the right project for you. But then the support that you get is, like I said, it's endless. It's great. You know, your career counselor is always there, your buddies there, your team members. They can always guide you and support you, and you know, to make sure that you are right on the right projects. So, yep.
That's great, thank you. My next question was around training and development, and I guess we've kind of covered that in a sort of few areas, but I thought it might be worth just checking to see if anyone has anything to add on to that. Chris, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I can speak from direct experience through two things. Number one, Accenture really does invest in its people. That's part of the reason why everyone here has spoken about how great the people are at Accenture. But technology-wise and skills-wise, Accenture really invests in them through the training. I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Accenture sent me to training at Oracle's headquarters to take an Oracle BI training course. It was really honestly just because I said to my career counselor, hey, I need a refresher course. It's been a while since I've used the tool set. This is supposed to be my go-to skill set. I need a refresher course. Obviously it didn't happen immediately, but after a little bit of time, he was able to get me into the training session, and I was able to take 3 days off and head out to Reading every day for training. In addition to that, you really get to see how much Accenture invests in your training and in your people development, because at every level, including analyst all the way up to partner, there are training sessions that you are required to attend. When you come in as an analyst, everyone goes to, it's called Core Analyst School. It is 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks now, forgive me if I'm incorrect. But literally you go there to not only meet other people who are at your level and who are also new, but you also get an opportunity to really start to hone your brand and hone your skill set. And this is just in Core Analyst School. It also happens through Core Consultant School, but through Core Consultant School you start to develop more of how you lead and how good of a consultant you'll be, and skill sets like project management, estimating, and go so forth as you move up to manager and senior manager. But you really get to see that Accenture really cares and is really invested in developing its people as to the best of its ability.
Great, thank you very much. And unless anyone else has anything to add on that one, I might just jump into, we've had a couple of questions on our social media channels. The first one is around kind of networking, I think, and the question is, in such a big organisation, how do you build relationships with people in different parts of the business? I'm going to open that up if anybody wants to chip in, otherwise I'll just select someone.
I can pick up some of that anyway.
Great,
I suppose on the project that I'm on, it's quite a small project. There's only kind of 3 or 4 guys from Accenture on it. So in order to kind of catch up with other people from around our department and the wider departments, there's a monthly social that the digital data analytics team puts together. So every third Thursday of the month we'll go away, have a few drinks together in a pub near the office, the London office, a few bites to eat and things like that. So it's really nice to catch up with everyone, see what projects they're working on, how things are going, and a lot of kind of collaboration happens at those events as well, because you'll be working on something or you might have a problem which someone else has dealt with before, so you get chatting to them over a beer or something like that, and it's 2 birds 1 stone, so it's really nice. And then there's a whole host of events at end of quarters and end of years as well. So yeah, your social calendar does fill up as well as your work calendar.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I can add something to that. As a new joiner, I mean, I found that Accenture is always encouraging people to network and meet people, and there are lots of opportunities, to do that, and you can get involved in anything you want, whether it's within your team or with another team, and all you need to do is talk to people, or even look into Accenture's portal and see what's going on and what you like to get involved in. And even if you don't see something, you have an idea, Accenture's always welcoming new ideas. All you need to do is just ask who to speak to and what you want to do, and they always say never be ashamed, just go ahead, ask the question and get involved.
That's really good advice. And then one other question that's just come in actually, and it was just around, I guess it's kind of similar in terms of network and support, but the question was, how far do you feel you can determine your own career path at Accenture?
I guess I'll speak to that one. A wise senior manager or senior executive once told me, or I guess we call them partners now, kind of the secret sauce or the secret to the success of your career is finding the right balance between going with the flow and then at the same time being able to have a greater plan in mind. With that being said, you do have quite a bit of ability to drive your career and say, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. You really get to see that when it comes to project selection. It's a sticky situation because you really do want to drive your career and identify where you want your career to go, but at the same time, sometimes putting yourself in a non-comfortable position or on a project that doesn't initially seem great will actually turn out much better. Mainly because that project might force you to grow in other areas that a comfort zone wouldn't. So there is quite a bit of flexibility to drive your career, but at the same time, you also have to keep in mind that a lot of it does come from going with the flow and seeing what opportunities come up along the way.
That's great. Thanks very much, Chris. And I think that's it in terms of the questions from social media. So unless anybody else has anything else to add, then I will draw a close to this evening's Google Hangout. And thank you very much for everyone who's taken part, and thank you very much for everyone who's watched on our channels and for those that have answered questions. If you have any more questions that you'd like us to put to the team or just to us, then please do get in touch and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks very much.